Good Saturday morning, September 16th. The beans are turning, as you can see. Turning quite hard here this past week. So we got a few projects to get done. Well, we got a number of projects to get done. Got to get all the bins and whatnot ready and set the auger up to the wet bin here. But we still got a few weeks. Yeah, we're not quite ready for harvest yet, but we're gonna get into that, mow the laneways in the old pasture lot again. I gotta mow that. I'm gonna dig some of that out and spread the rest of that the road waste, run a crush there just to widen the driveway a little at the beginning, because you remember last, I don't know if it was during the winter or early this spring, there was still snow when the guy tried to back into the hedgerow over there. Yeah, so we'll use up the rest of that to try and help that matter out a little. Oh yes, and you'll see lots of vehicles going by with dirt bikes and stuff. You'll probably hear the bumblebees. They have a motocross race up next door this weekend. So I want to read you something I'll take you along on the tractor, show you that exciting thing of brush hogging. Hang on, gotta bend over. It fell off the chair. Oh, getting harder to bend over. Anyways, study shows glyphosate ban. All right, the wind's blowing. Would drive up food prices. So you know how I've had my videos about the spray we use and how there's people out there that think everything is killing us. The anti-spray people. Well, first of all, we're all dying. Let's just, get that over with to start with. We're born, we live, we die. So every day we're dying. But anyways, just gonna read this for you. A new report called A Future Without Glyphosate, it's short, so relax, shows if glyphosate was no longer a management tool for farmers, the immediate impact would be costly to farmers, the economy, and the environment. Key findings from the study, published by Aimpoint Research, a strategic intelligence firm, that's quite the name, and commissioned by Bayer, suggests the unavailability of glyphosate would lead to more tilling and fewer cover crops, which could result in the release of up to 34 million tons of carbon, that horrible thing, equivalent to the emissions of 6.8 million cars. And they want to push, and there's channels on ScrewTube here that everything should be no-till, and us farmers that do till the soils, we're ruining the soils and blah, 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 blah. Well, that just tells you right there, if there's no glyphosate to kill weeds, if there's no anything to kill weeds, yes, that means more tillage. That will mean more, when the corn is, until it's tall enough that you're going to run it over and break it off, there's going to be more people that are going to have to do post-plant tillage in plain English, to go between the rows and try and keep the weeds out. But anyways, I'll keep reading. All right. Cause a 2 to 2.5 times surge in input costs for farmers due to the limited supply and high price of alternative products affecting smaller farms. Yep. It'll increase the production costs by more than 1.9 billion due to increased tillage. Add inflationary pressure to food prices for consumers. That's what everybody needs, more expensive food. We see how that's working right now with Bidenomics. And it will reduce the global competitiveness of U.S. agriculture. While markets would adapt to a world without glyphosate, it would be a substantial economic cost to farmers and cause the rapid release of greenhouse gases, reversing decades of conservation and sustainability gains, says Greg Dowd. That just says the guy's name, blah, 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 blah. And that's pretty much the article. So, isn't that, the do-gooders want to do away with all the tools that farmers have to try and produce the most efficient and effective crops that we can produce, but they don't think about the end results when they do this shit. But then again, our government, the elites, you know, the do-good, none of them, all they think about is the end game for them, is what it amounts to. So, oh, and it pisses me off. We'll talk about a few other things while we're mowing, but I'm going to save most of it up for this coming Friday, September 22nd, 7 p.m. Eastern, live stream with Jimmy and I. So make sure you're there, because there's a lot to talk about. Also want to give a shout out to a friend. All right, hope you can see that pretty good. Four Seasons Archery in Weedsport, New York. There's the phone number in case any of you are, you know, in the area. Well, even if you're not in the area. Pretty cool sticker. A little big for the, well, I don't have any room left on the front. I didn't want to put it on the side, so I put it on the door. So that's Rick Steele, otherwise known as the Dick Steele on our live streams. Yes, that was back when we were doing all the names. So the Dick Steele, thank you for that. He also gave me this paper, and I'm not going to read it until the live stream, so you all need to show up for the live stream Friday, September 22nd, 7 p.m. Eastern. It's kind of like an HR. It's a joke. It's funny as hell. You need to show up for that, because you'll find it quite humorous also. But I'm not going to do it now. I'm going to wait till the live stream to make more of you show up to it. Alright, I'm mowing the pathway. I'll make a pass down through after I come up through, but I'm going out back here to the old pasture. As you can see, the beans are turning pretty good. Turning hard. Won't be long. Couple weeks probably. You can see the ones up there on that gravelly knoll have really turned. But that's because it was dry. You can see a patch right there when it was dry. We have had a little over 2 inches of rain so far in September, so we're, you know, we're to the point now, September 16th, it don't matter. I mean, almost be better off staying dry for the next 2 months to get harvest done. But I mow all of this, or not all of it, I mow pathways in it, and then there's a spot out back that I mow all of, mainly for deer hunting. So when during muzzleloader season, when we do our deer drives, mainly for that, but I like to keep it mowed down. So I'll bring you back in a minute when we get to the back. Alright, so this is mainly what I mow. This, oh, probably 3, 4, 5 acre area out back here. We do this so when we do deer drives with muzzleloader season. But I like to keep it down anyhow. So I said we'll have a talk while we're mowing. Like I said, I'm gonna save a lot of it for the live stream. It gets a little rough down here too, like right there. You see me bounce around, yeah. Anyways, that's from being wet over the years and mowing and making some little ruts and whatnot. So I'm sure we've all by now seen the old Hunter Biden got indicted for his gun charges of being a drug addict and having a gun, or lying on the form, excuse me. Let's get it correct. So what do y'all think's gonna happen with that? I mean, the first indictment didn't work out so well, you know, with their plea bargain of him basically getting a little slap. I say one of two things. Either same thing, it's gonna wind up, it's gonna get a little dark here because I go around this tree one time. This little tiny island of trees here. Anyways, either it's gonna be another little slap on the wrist and nothing's gonna amount to it. Probably about the same as what the whole congressional you know, investigation, because we know the rhinos don't want to do anything. We've already heard some of them say that there's not enough to impeach Joe. Yeah, okay, whatever. But it's either going to be that, another little slap on the wrist, or the Democrats are finally starting to realize Joe ain't doing so good, and it ain't looking so good in the polls. So they need to get rid of Joe and probably run somebody like Michelle Obama. God help us. No. So that's my prediction. One of those two things. Because you're starting to see even CNN and MSNBC and them pointing out Joe's missteps. You know, like how Joe talks about how he taught at Penn University for 4 years, which is a lie. He never did. You know how Joe was a big rig truck driver. Yeah, okay, Joe. How Joe goes and stands in front of the podiums when he's at these foreign countries and makes statements like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go to bed. Holy fuck. I hope the half the country that voted for this bullshit because your hatred for Trump is so bad, I hope you're all proud. I really do. But I'm sure when they throw, you know, well, I still think it'll be her, but whoever they throw in there, I'm still thinking it's Michael Obama. You know, Michael. Yeah. A little bit of a side hill here, if you notice that I'm kind of leaning in the tractor. Yeah. And then we'll go through that opening, go out there, do some more of the pathways, come back here and finish this. But, so what's your thoughts? Is it that the Democratic Party has finally realized Joe ain't the choice? Of course, we know Joe's just a puppet anyhow, and we know that, you know, Barack is pulling the strings like that one time. I think it was 60 Minutes when he did the interview, and he said, I want to sit in my basement in my sweats and have somebody with an earpiece in that I can be talking to tell what to do. Yeah, I'll mow up through there. And there's another pathway up here I mow up through. I just mowed different lanes for, like I said, be able to see the deer coming through. So you anti-deer hunters or whatever, you can get pissed off at me right now too, but whatever. So if you haven't noticed, I really don't fucking care. But so that's what I think's gonna happen, which is also why they're obviously trying to put Trump in jail, because they see how much he's, you know, a threat to the Democratic Party. Because I saw a thing the other day where the polls show the black voters, his approval rating, Trump's, and the amount of blacks that are willing to vote for him now has increased 20%. Gee, I wonder if they finally realize that the Democratic Party has done nothing but use them for all these years. Continue to tell them how racist the Republicans are and how the Republicans hate them. They need to vote Democrat. But then in the next breath, they continue to tell them how bad they have it. Well, if they've been supporting you Democrats for decades, how come they still have it so bad? How come the Messiah, Barack Obama, during his 8 years, didn't make everything great for the black people? It's just all part of the race, gender, political divide bullshit that the left wants to do in this country, and the rhinos. So I'm on board with that too. Don't forget, I'm no huge fan of the Republican Party, because it's getting to be to the point about 80% of them are rhinos. But it amazes me the people that are brainwashed. I got into it with somebody on Instagram the other day. I don't know if it's a he, she, whatever it is, because their handle was just Lift Your Spirits Challenge. And it was about wine and booze and stuff. And this person was of a different class than me, I'm thinking, because, you know, they made the comment, I'm just going to go back and lay in my bed full of money. And they had sports people on this challenge, like Joe Buck, the, you know, baseball and football announcer. And I saw one with Jason Varitek, an ex-Boston Red Sox player. I got to back up so I can go back down the hill, so bear with me here. And this person just completely brainwashed that the left is, you know, our saviors. So I asked them the same question I ask everyone. Give me the top 5 things that Biden has done in the last 3 years to make this country better. Well, after pounding it to him, he finally, she, it, whatever, finally came back with an answer. And it was just, it's mind-numbing. Basically reading CNN or MSNBC headlines. Best economy in 50 years, lowest unemployment. Joe has created the most jobs. Well, let me tell you something, dumb fuck. When people lost their job or quit their job during COVID and then went back to work in the past year or 2 here, that's not creating a job. That's just refilling a job that was already there. If you actually look at the number of people working today versus the number of people working in 2019 before the pandemic, there's less people working now. So please tell me where all of these jobs are that have been created. It's the shit that they come up with, but they can't do any homework on their own. They just have to believe what Joe or the Democrats or CNN tells them. It's mind-numbing. Making another pass down through here to finish this one off. Got a little laneway there, got another one up there on the other side. Like I said, I got one down through here. Now I'm heading back there. I'm gonna finish the biggest part of it now, and then I'll come back up here and finish all this. But yes, this is the exciting thing I'm doing on a Saturday morning. Boy, the dew is still pretty heavy. I waited till 10:30. It's 10:45, but so anyways, we will talk about a lot more of that stuff on Friday night at the live stream, so make sure you show up. Alright, I'm back to the shop. You can probably hear the bumblebees now up the road. Yep, today's practice day, tomorrow's race day. So I got the hood up so I can blow out the radiator and stuff. Blow out the screen that gets all the little bugs and weed shit and stuff on it. I'll blow off the brush hog some, get some of that stuff off it. It'll get washed this fall when we are washing equipment. But yeah, I like to get the radiator blown out. It don't look bad actually. So I'm gonna throw your one more thing on here right now. Wait, I ate some of the weed stuff though when I pulled that screen out because the wind's blowing, as you can tell by the flag. So here in New York with our wonderful governor, Kathy Holocaust Hochul. I can't remember the number, like HR 213, or the letters to it. I remember the numbers, 213, some executive order that she had tried to do that basically allowed the health department, and I don't think it's just the state health department, I think it's local ones too, to be able to yank you out of your home and throw you in basically a quarantine camp. That's what I call it. But throw you in quarantine for not just COVID, but pretty much anything. I mean, a judge said, no, that's unconstitutional. You don't have that right. Some of the shit they had listed on there aren't even communicable diseases. But that's how far the Democrats are willing to go to control you, especially with an election season coming. Look at the governor of New Mexico. Again, another Democrat. Doing that executive order about, what was it, for 30 days to take away people's Second Amendment rights to carry. You know, they just feel they can do whatever they want. Kind of like the courts telling the Biden administration here a while back, no, that's unconstitutional for you to collude with big tech to censor conservatives. You know, so what did the Biden administration do? They appealed it. What is Kathy Holocaust Hochul doing? They're appealing it. Stop and think about it, folks. Judges are saying this is wrong, this is unconstitutional, and these fuckers are appealing it. That's how much control they want. So if you think with an election right around the corner, they're not willing to do whatever they can do, which they're showing now by trying to put Trump in jail, to stay in power, I don't get the Democrats. Like I asked these people on Instagram, and I've asked it here. Do you have your own gas stations where it's cheaper? Because gas has been going up dramatically again. Do you have your own grocery stores where it's cheaper? Why do you keep voting for this? And voting for these people that say, oh, we're all for democracy. Well, first of all, we are a constitutional republic. Say the Pledge of Allegiance. In any constitutional republic, that is more based on individual liberties, individual rights. Democracies pretty much turn into tyrannies, which is what the left wants. I don't get it. I don't get it. We'll talk about it more at the live stream. I'm out. Oh wait, second more thing, shameless plug, because I'm just a t-shirt grifter, according to some. Don't forget to push on the Grumpy Farmer Apparel link and get your Grumpy Farmer apparel. There, I grifted.